they do even no one make person talk. Them say that Mayegun, that man too they talk. He too they talk. Say Mayegun diary, he they hot like pepper. But every day then they take money in bulk. Woman picking they the street they hawk. Still them talk say make we no talk. But thank God say Mayegun don't come. So my people make you laugh. Oh yo yo, Mayegun don't.
Hello there.
Mayegun na wa mo la mo dododo.
Mayegun diary, Mayegun number one.
Mayegun na wa mo la mo dododo.
Mayegun diary, Mayegun number one.
Mayegun ti de o.
Good morning to you, good afternoon to you, and good evening to you from wherever you are watching from. This is Mayegun Live.
Gbogbo bó ṣe ń lọ ni Mayegun já wa sí.
Mayegun diary, Mayegun number one.
Àṣírí.
Please let me know if the audio is perfect at your own end there.
Mayegun number one.
Bó bá ṣe rere, àní Mayegun máa wí.
Mayegun diary, Mayegun number one.
Ó sì tún ṣe rere, wàá gbọ́ níbẹ̀ o.
Mayegun diary, Mayegun number one.
Mayegun diary politico.
Mayegun diary, Mayegun number one.
Thank you so much for joining me from wherever you are watching from. Remember, share this broadcast. Invite your friends. Invite your not so friendly friends and tell them, Mayegun today.
Àní Mayegun làwa mọ̀ dódódódó.
Mayegun diary, Mayegun number one.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Mayegun today.
Read the caption of the broadcast. Read the description as well. Indeed, it is going to be an interesting night. And please, share the broadcast.
Lórí Facebook.
Mayegun today.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Mayegun today.
Lórí YouTube.
Mayegun
The Nigerian army says they are sorry. We are very sorry. Just as I predicted or said yesterday, Lagbaja, the chief of army staff, visited Todonabiri. The people they bombed to Misrins, the survivors, to say sorry to all of them.
Gómìnà kówó jẹ. Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Ọlọ́pàá ti.
It was Princess Balogun who first on this platform warned majority of us in the diaspora, and she said, a day is coming that even this diaspora, save for majority of Nigerians, escape from the criminals who have set Nigeria up for doom. That a time is actually going to when people, all of us who are here, whether we like it or not, will end up having to go to Nigeria. Policies, she said, can change everyone's any moment.
Mayegun ti dé. Àní. Lórí YouTube.
Mayegun today. Mayegun today.
Ọ bàbá gbé wúrẹ́.
Mayegun máa wí.
Àní ẹ̀sùn.
Mayegun today.
Ijó ìgbádìyẹ.
Mayegun máa wí.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Mayegun today.
Presido bá rúfin o.
Mayegun máa wí.
Please let me know if there is anything wrong with the video. I could see there seems to be some lagging or so. I do that is network or something else. But let me know if it is becoming something really concerning.
Aṣòfin tí ń rúfin o, ayé ẹ̀sùn rájú. Olóṣèlú, ayé ẹ̀sùn ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn rájú. Ayé ẹ̀sùn rájú. Máyégún ti dé.
And thank you very much for joining me again. So, if the audio and the video are sort of acting up like lagging, I believe it probably has to do with the network. So it's going to get better, okay? And it should probably be better right now, I believe. But thank you very much for those who have actually shared the broadcast. Thank you to those of you who have also paid your own offering, like the broadcast. Thank you too. Now, yeah, I've noticed that. Okay, I want us to for a moment. Maybe you should stop just staring at my mouth. Okay, it's going to fix itself. Don't worry. In a few minutes, it's going to fix itself. All right. However, just listen to my voice. Now, people have been reacting to the news of the government of the United Kingdom, UK, issuing new rules, immigration rules, starting from January 2024. And the reactions have been coming from mostly the people who have signed up for the same visa scheme that has now become the sort of a political brickmanship kind of in the UK. But for those of us who are watching me right now from Nigeria, all right, this program is going to possibly help you if you are making a decision on where do you want to Japa to, okay, and why you should be sort of more careful if you are choosing the UK. So there is politics primarily behind all of this. Also, to those who might have been sort of spreading the conspiracy, also lies, that the reasons why the UK government is changing the rules or sort of making stricter rules is because of Nigerians. Some believe that some Nigerians, even though Nigeria is probably number 3 or number 4 in the overall countries who have actually made net migration through the legal visa process that is now in contention. Are you with me? So, but there is politics behind it. And that is what I'm going to sort of clear. And at the same time, hopefully, what you are going to see or hear on this platform this moment is also going to help you in making that decision finally. Because of the failure of the ruiners of Nigeria, I'm talking about the criminals who have continued to tank the economy of Nigeria by their corrupt, selfish political decisions. As much as they have continued on that trajectory of poverty for all, it has already it's sort of pushed more people to have chosen to leave Nigeria for so many reasons. And in the UK, here in the UK, in the last 13 years, the politicians here, they have been using immigration and immigrants even more. So yeah, let me clear this as well for clarity. Gone are the days when Nigerians would be coming to the UK illegally, like other means than getting legal residency, work permit, and all of that in the last 13 years. So back here in the UK, the same politicians here in the UK for the past 20 years, for some reasons that we could probably not figure, have managed to consistently underfund some critical sectors or structure, so to say, in this country. Okay. And by so doing, with the inflation and all of that economic stuff that's coupled with that of years, underfunding like NHS, for example, which is so critical to this country, like, you know what I mean, award-winning NHS. The people who are here, those who are here working in that particular sector, they are making demand for so many years now. They are making demand for sort of increased better pay, but they've met their demands. And this has led to so many of them to have chosen between to continue to work like slave and have nothing to for it per se, because gone are the days when you are working for government, sector like that. Some certain age, you should have gotten to a stage where you afford your own home, your own house. But that's becoming no longer realistic for an average British due to this low pay and all that. Low pay, high inflation. So what did the politicians do? If you can't take the pay, those who can take the pay. So they opened up their portal, designed a visa, a sign of a visa process that at number one, will generate them billions of pounds, easy money. One. Number two, it's also going to, that was their vision, though, it was going to help them to close the gap of, workforce in those places where people have chosen to either, should I work or stay on benefit? Do you understand that? So they, politicians in this country, the Tories, they decided that cheap labor through a designed, migrant visa, a skilled work visa, which also allow the immigrants, whether you are coming here to study or you are coming here to work, you can bring your family and all of that. So it was so good that last 2 years, what they planned to achieve in 10 years, 600,000, that was going to be controlled. The last 2 years alone, they have issued more visa to the skilled workers, students. They have issued more visas to their dependents than the main applicants. Now, here is where those who know this very well in this country can tell you that they are not just putting the blame on the immigrants, as well as trying to sort of divert the attention, right? Even here in their, what do you call it, in the UK, the people can tell that the politicians are are crooked with what they are doing. But here is my own layman explanation, okay? So we can bring in, you can bring in your families and all of that. And within that space in time, they generated over 4 or 5 billion pounds sterling from people who were applying. Now, they themselves increased the net migration, and with the belief that, okay, number one, cheap labor, they will fill in the space that those who don't want to work can stay. They'll fill up those spaces. Not just NHS and care. There are those who are also going to fill up other cheap labor, which are like national minimum wage in this country. It's like living wage. You'll be working, okay? You pay your bills and all of that, but you probably will not have enough to say, oh, in 5 years when in so years when I retire, okay, I should have probably no. That's likely not, possible in this kind of economy here in the UK, and they know that. So they issued excess visas to the migrants and dependents. But here is now the twist. Majority of us, so this is not even like myself, majority of us here in the UK who are migrants and working here and resident working in the UK, majority of us are charged for almost everything. You see the NHS surcharge, which they have now increased, by the way. The NHS, like more than 60% of us never even use NHS for the duration of the time that we are built for. And all of that is still pretty much to help and invest in NHS, pay the people more and the rest of that. Here you get. So, majority of these new dependents too, they have no right to government benefits, welfare, whether it is for housing or whether it is for feeding or whatever it is. So you have no right. Your family have no right to any government welfare. Remember, they were charging people for this particular visa that you can bring your family. They were charging people between 5,000 and 30,000 pounds sterling for that. Now, despite the fact that making such money, this same money was not really invested on that NHS or probably never enough. Okay? So the same people never make provision for housing or whatever, any extra per se. But statistically, these migrants and their family who actually legally came to this country, okay? Majority of them and their dependents have no benefit and they hardly use the NHS. Majority of them work in the care system of the same NHS, like for the same pay that the indigenous British have decided they considered as slave pay. Now, in all of that, the same government that has made so much money through that, right? They are now putting the entire collapse in the system where people spend more time to see GP. They spend more time in the emergency room. They spend more time, hours, waiting for ambulances. And the government that plotted filling the workforce, that brought these people, the same government didn't make any extra provision for them. So it is easier to blame them even when they actually take nothing but add more. Now, when you now talk about those who are students, they also added conditions to these visas, by the way, okay? The hours you can work, how much money you are, for example, for you to qualify for their visa, for dependent visa, number one, you must have a job here. And that job must be able to pay you a certain amount. That amount is sort of a it's like the national minimum wage in the UK. National minimum wage in the UK. That's how much you are going to make in a year. Okay. Now, if you have a job that is offering you that in the UK, you are qualified for their visa. The moment you have that visa, your dependents, if you have children, if you have a husband or wife, automatically they will get the same visa for 5 years. Now, the agreement was when you pay them all you have to pay them, and you show them that this is the amount of money I will be earning in a year, okay? They will give you their visa. You will work that job for 5 years, okay? Pay tax, do all of that. Then you will be qualified. You will now be you will qualify for indefinite stay. Now, indefinite means you are no longer on that visa of limited visa. You are now on open visa where you have a choice to become British. So many people sold their properties And listen to me. The reason why you are watching this is because you're either a Nigerian or you have a relationship with a Nigerian and you have something that somehow link you with this news. But listen, Nigeria is number 4 on the list of countries who have actually had more people. Countries like India, China, Pakistan, and all these places, they have their their own dependents in hundreds of thousands. And I don't blame them. They all fulfill the legal requirements by the UK. So the agreement was like, it's going to be a journey. And once you fulfill your part and you pay for it, and you come to the UK, you are not coming to the UK to depend on anybody. They did not come to the UK to depend on the government. They came to the UK to fulfill their part of a visa that the UK government and the UK politicians intentionally or greedily, selfishly issued. So they are now blaming them because the people that are contributing and they are not taking anything are now being blamed for the overstretching of the system. But look at it this way. In the same UK, for some reason, in the same UK, every day, they have people who come on dinghies, on boats, no documents, no anything. And currently, it has become like a pandemic in the UK to the point that the UK government that has been taking care of them. Like, see, if you come to the UK on the boat, okay, they will rescue you. They will put you in a 5-star hotel. Every day, they said they are spending thousands of pounds sterling on each person that they called like refugees. You know, they are refugees, asylum seekers. These are people they rescued on the sea, on water, here in the UK. So they put them in hotels, they feed them, to the point that UK government was spending money to go and resettle them in Rwanda. The number is so huge that the UK government is spending so much to maintain them. There are some of them that are housed on ships in the UK. These are people who contribute nothing. The the people here in the UK who are indeed suffering from this from this government failure, they are also watching in horror. Listen, I'm coming back to those who actually bought it and sold their properties to move. And right now, they have no idea what the journey is going to be like, because the visa they gave to them to come here, for example, that says your annual pay is 25,000 pounds sterling. That means everything you are going to inherit that year is not going to be less than 25,000 pounds. It can be more, but it can be less. Because if it is less, you are not fulfilling your visa, your own visa, part of the visa deal. So by the time you want to, you want to reapply again for an extension, it could be a problem. It is the same thing with when you kind of get admission as a student, okay? No matter how much you paid or how much you are paying, if you don't meet up your attendance, what do you call tallies or what have you, it is going to pop up when you are now going to probably make a renewal and all that. Listen, these are people who came legally now. So you can't earn less than 25,000 pounds, but you can earn more, okay? Now, they have now increased any job you want to come and do here. See the trick, that job must be offering you 38,000 pounds annually. Any immigrant coming here to come and live here, you can't bring your family, you can't bring any dependents. No, you can't. Especially if you are coming for skilled work. Now, all of them can't come anymore. But that job, that care work, or any work at all, must be a work that is not, you must not earn less than 38,000 pounds. Now, like I said, here is the politics in it. You will think, oh, okay, maybe all of the British people the British rather, Britons, if we want to use their own language now, the Britons who decided not to work. Some have decided to leave the country. Sure, you get to go and look for a job elsewhere. Sure, you understand that pays them well and treat them, you know what I mean? Instead of some have decided not to work, okay? And they have decided to be taking benefits. Right now, the same government that couldn't fund this system, right, very well, they now have to kind of fund welfare system. Now they are now having problem with the welfare system. We're finding that a week or so ago, the same government came back and said, well, if you are working before and you suddenly stopped working for some reason and all that, we will need you to go back to work or look for a job. We can no longer pay you. Do you get that now? So they are saying that even, you know what I mean? Like, and that's the politics, like I said. Mind you, before I come to that, right? It's not that they are going to increase the salary now in the UK to 38,000 though. Do you see the trick there? They are saying if you are an immigrant who want to come to the UK and you are offered a job, that job must not be less than 38,000 pounds. You get that? It must not be less than that. And you can't bring your dependent or family or anybody. Yet, those who are here, like those who are actually here working in that same system, they are not telling them that, okay, we are increasing your job or your salary to 38,000 pounds. No. The minimum wage is still about 25,000, 26,000 pounds. So it's not changing anything here. But here is another problem. There are many problems, though, that is beyond all of now where they want to sell your properties to relocate to the UK twice, okay? This is not limited to you, like I said. There are those here who are British and their partners who are in relationship, in different relationships that their partners are not British. Before now, you could bring your partner to UK, marry them, and get them a job. It's not that difficult. Sure, you get. Right now, hang on. You could bring your partner to the UK, marry them and bring them here, even if you no get job. Then it changed that you must have a work, you must have a job. You must be earning a minimum of 80,000 pounds sterling before you can say you want to bring your partner to the UK. See, I'm not talking about me, you now, who want to bring our partner. So no. I'm saying British. Omonilu, that is British. They gave them that ratio, 18,000. That changed to 22,000. Right now, you see these new rules, it also applies to them. They must be earning at least 38,000 pounds sterling. Oyinbo British. And guess what? If you know the type of people that are earning 38,000 pounds in a year in the UK, there are like different categories of people or category of people. It's not everyone that easily, or we can say everyone belongs to that category of people that earn 38,000. So that also affects them. Even though some people are saying that, can we blame them? Of course we can't. It is just a clarion call. And as we say it in Yoruba, ikú tó ń pa ojúgbà ẹni, òwe ló ń pa fúnni. Everyone that is that has already jackpot, you have jackpot, and where you are, now only God knows what kind of visa they your hand. Even if you already have the citizenship or whatever it is, the world is changing. Far-right politicians are putting their blame, their failure, they are putting them on immigrants. It doesn't matter how you see it. It doesn't matter how you protest it. We can all wake up tomorrow and there you have it. another rules. And if you have had a chance of living Nigeria, and right there where you are still supporting the degenerating state of Nigeria. You are supporting the continued, pillaging of Nigeria. You are supporting these criminals that are continually making the country inhabitable for ordinary people. One day, whatever you have right now that is keeping you safe wherever you are, you can wake up one morning and the background, they will remind us we are immigrants. It doesn't matter if the person that is also reminding us who we are is also an immigrant himself. But don't get it twisted. Politicians are almost the same all over the world. And I'm coming back. Here is here are the listed what they want to do. Banning this, banning that, scraping this, stopping that, and on like that. Here you get. But the Home Secretary, James clearly stated what their new policy will be like from January. I will come back with my own, widow's mite advice soon.
So of a 5-point plan, the first of our 5 points will be to end the abuse of the health and care visa. We will stop overseas care workers from bringing family dependents, and we will require care firms in England to be regulated by the Care Quality Commission in order for them to sponsor visas. Approximately 120,000 dependents accompanied 100,000 care workers and senior care workers in the year ending September 2023. Only 25% of dependents are estimated to be in work, meaning a significant number are drawing on public services rather than helping to grow the economy. We recognise that foreign workers do great work in our NHS and health sector, but it is also important that migrants make a big enough financial contribution. Therefore, we will increase annual immigration health surcharge this year by 66%, from £624 to £1,035, to raise, on average, around £1.3 billion for the health services of this country every year. Second, we will stop immigration undercutting the salary of British workers. We will increase the skilled worker earnings threshold by a third to £38,700 from next spring, in line with the median full-term wage for those kinds of jobs. Those coming on health and social care visa routes will be exempt, so we can continue to bring in the healthcare workers on which our care sector and NHS rely. Thirdly, we will scrap cut-price shortage labour from overseas by ending the 20% going rate salary discount for shortage occupations and reforming the shortage occupation list. I have asked the Migration Advisory Committee to review the occupations on this list because of our new higher skilled worker salary thresholds. And we will create a new immigration salary list with a reduced number of occupations. People only bring dependents who they can support financially. By raising the minimum income for family visas to the same threshold as the minimum salary threshold for skills workers, which is £38,700. The minimum income requirement of £18,600 has not been increased since 2012. Madam Deputy Speaker, this package of measures will take place from next spring. Finally, having already banned overseas master's students from bringing family members to the UK, I have asked the Migration Advisory Committee to review the graduate route to prevent abuse, to protect the integrity and quality of the UK's outstanding higher education sector. It needs to work in the best interests of the UK, supporting the pathway into high-quality jobs for the global talent pool, but reducing opportunities for abuse. So, of a 5-point plan, the first of our...
So did you hear that? He's a politician. They want to bring high profile professionals, health practitioners to the UK. Okay, so this is going to be their way of controlling the net migration and all that. And if you don't understand that, is pretty much appealing to, a portion of the country who also believes that the immigrants who are coming here are contributing, nothing. Did you hear him when he said only 25% of those who came here, their dependents were working? But he didn't add that these dependents have no right to government support or government funding. And when it comes to the NHS, they actually paid to be looked after. And he said NHS surcharge is £620. That is not true. The last time I paid that was £1,540. That was their last NHS surcharge. But they've increased that by 66%. It's all about, okay, yeah, let's see how much money we can also rake from them again. There are many now. And he actually had the number. They said about £1.5 billion is what they will raise from the NHS surcharge alone. Among other things that they actually take money for and all that, only for them to turn around and say, well, the reason why some of the people have no job or high-paying job in this country is because, the immigrants are doing it cheaper. So you know what? We are just going to have to do something. And in order because a lot of people right now, there is this lady, she is not African or Nigerian. So she appeared to be, somebody who is probably like an European, because they have another one for some set of Europeans, okay, some visas for them too. And this is also going to affect them as well, okay? Some of these Asian countries who are also here, it's going to also affect them. So this lady, she is, imagine this, person will be immigration lawyer. So she had to come out to say, seriously, that the plan is not actually to stop just people coming in. The plot is indeed to ensure that those who are in Gongon, by the time they want to renew their visas and based on the visa that brought them in, the game has changed, the rule has changed. So according to her, it is either she found a new job. She said she's earning under £30,000 a year as an immigration lawyer. Some people were even shocked, like, how come? Because most immigration lawyers in this country work pro bono. They barely get paid per se. Seriously, I've used some of them. Sure you get, because the government go pay them. In Scotland, we have what is called the legal aid. So if you don't get money and you need a lawyer, they will give you money. They will pay your lawyer. Or it's going to be government pay. It's not going to be like your lawyer billing you per se. So this lady is concerned that she either find a job in a field or another field in 2 years, or our journey in the UK is over. Or more people are going to Canada, where they are offering them resident permit, right from Muritala. And people are selling their properties because they want to come to the UK. So I have looked around because people are jackpotting everywhere. Fine. Like in 2 years in Canada, you are free to bring, they are even like announcing that they want you to bring this and bring that. Eh? But do you know the adverse effect of all of this after this whole noise goes down? Because they know too. Their schools here, they have made a fortune in the last 13 years. No joke. Schools in the UK, they have made fortune. They depend on this international students. And again, stop putting yourselves at the center of it all because you are Nigerians. There are countries that are bringing loads and loads and loads of their people into the UK on the same visa. So don't always make it look like, because some of you will be like, the UK is making money. That is why they don't want Nigeria to break. Of course, it might be part of that, but listen, they are just cashing in and cashing out. I mean, cashing out on Nigeria's mystery. It's practically what is going on. You know, but a lot of countries are paying the bill. And in this economy in the UK, there are so many of them that depends on it. So what this is going to mean is that apart from people paying to get all of this, the economy in the UK, okay, has given the micro businesses, that's like a small businesses, the opportunities to hire cheaper. Sure, you understand? Hire cheaper means they are happy to pay the minimum wage. Minimum wage of a £10.50. How much is minimum wage, Seth? £10 per hour. They are happy to pay. But you see people who are here, go. Nobody want to really take the job of £10 per hour. But somebody who is coming from other developing countries, they will just be like, £10 per hour. How many hours a day? You can only work for 10 hours. And I know, but I want to do extra time. What am I doing? It's not even a tedious or hard job. They're happy to take the £10. But the person regular here knows that, of course, you can continue to take the £10 per hour. You will live your life normally. You can even go on holidays. You can do things. But you will remain under that radar that your aspiration and everything in life are going to be limited based on that. Just live and die, kind of. So they begin to look for jobs that are offering them £15 an hour, £20 an hour. Some even go to the extent of getting extra knowledge and all of that, certification, in order for them to get paid even £100 an hour, 200, 500 an hour. Like those ones are like, But you get what I mean? So all those are going to be gone. The NHS vacuum, that despite all of these people, the people who entered, those who got in, and they are working in different care job. You see, UK, United Kingdom, as one of the aging population in the world. When I say aging, old people, like Oyinbo, they always plan ahead. Those who are in their 60s now, majority of them, in their pension, in their everything, they have been putting together fund for their care, for when they will need them, from when they were like around that 60, 70. Because by the time you get to 80, 90, you're going to need a carer. And you see this Scotland has one of the highest population of aging population, which means United Kingdom and our citizens and our residents, they are always going to need carers in the sector. So If people who are working in the healthcare are being underpaid, and the immigrants who are taking the job cannot make more than certain amount in a year. So if you now pretend to make law that you want to control immigration, so all of that will disappear, but it's not going to happen all of a sudden. Remember,